morning, Sambo on Saturday again, and we are working in conjunction and promoting for the Gawler Business Development Board and letting people know in our district about those businesses that quite often are kept a bit of a secret. But today it's a very big welcome to Matt Knight here from KOTNmedia, and Matt is going to tell us all about this business that he's got and promotes in the community, and Daniel Down, who is going to let us know about, again, as I say, the businesses that are on in this area that I'm sure we will all enjoy in the future. So first of all, Matt, we'll start off with you, and it's a very special welcome, and we'd like for you now to tell us a little bit about cotton, and also what you are doing in the area to help promote your business and other businesses in this community.
Yeah, thanks, Sambo. It's good to be here. And so I guess called KOTNmedia, we started about just over 12 months ago. So what we started doing was creating footy shows on the Barossa Light and Gawler competition, which took off and started going really well. And then using sponsors and local businesses to promote on there as well. And just getting around Gawler, mate, and promoting as many businesses as we can.
Yep, no, that's great. What drew you to develop this type of business? Because, we have so much sport in this community, and that's something that's been missing with this virus and that we didn't need. But what drew you to be able to start up this type of business?
Yeah, well, so Cotton stands for the King of the North, Sambo. Oh. So that was a nickname that I guess was self-proclaimed back in 2015, 2016, after an article that I'd written that sort of got a bit of traction. And from then I was just sort of mucking around with the idea of cotton and what we do with it. We're going to start a clothing line with it. And the Bunyip newspaper in Gawler actually came to me, Jack Hudson, the sports writer at the time, and asked if I would write a bit of a funny article each week during cricket season called The King's Court, and sort of got a bit of a media bug from there, and started to do a bit of local radio on Triple B FM and that sort of thing. And that's sort of where KOTNmedia come from. Before that, I'd never thought I'd have a career in media or anything like that. So that sort of all happened in the last 2 years, and started from there. So it's been an interesting journey.
Oh, that's great. And Jack Hudson does a great job with the Gawler Bunyip, and certainly gets out around all the. I'm involved with Speedway, and I'm a bit of rev head, and it's great to see the articles that Jack's been doing over time. So working in with you like that'll be a great asset. And Daniel. And welcome this morning here.
Thank you.
Now, certainly with the... what's that?
Train going past.
Oh, choo-choo. Yeah.
So just start with Daniel.
Just start with Daniel? Right. Now, Daniel, over to you. And certainly a few interesting projects that you have on the go. And can you please start by briefly telling us how you ended up in this beautiful town of Gawler?
Well, initially my parents moved us out from the UK, from Southampton. We lived at Salisbury East for quite a while, and they found a block of land up here and built up here, up at the end of Dawkins Avenue on Main North Road there, and I've been rattling around here ever since. In and out, but mostly in.
That's great. And it's certainly some unique projects that you've had on the go. Tell us about this Humans in Gawler.
Well, most people know that I love taking a bit of a photograph, and I know that we've got some real interesting characters like these two in front of me, and I thought it would be a great opportunity just to show my audience and all the other people in Facebook land all the different characters and people we've got. And you might see someone in their uniform, and then when you see them out of uniform, there's a whole different story behind them.
Exactly, yeah. And where did you get the love of this photography? Was it through schooling or anything like that? Just come out and said, right, I need it, because there's so many beautiful areas of photography, whether it's in nature or community sides and things like that.
Yeah, it was mostly through high school. It was about the only lesson I was good at or encouraged at or actually enjoyed. And this was back in the day when you'd have film, wet film, black and white, develop all your pictures in the little trays and all that stuff, and just instantly fell in love with it. And, you know, you look at the world in a different way when you're looking to take pictures.
And you, from what I've read, is you're very, very passionate about community. Now, where does this passion for community come from? You've been involved with natural groups and things like that, and I know with our annual Gawler show, there's a photography area there, and there seems to be each year, until this year because it's been cancelled, more and more interest in taking those photos. And I quite often say to people, can you see the beauty in that photo? Because the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah. So, you know, how did this come about with you?
As far as the community goes, I reckon it's just more of a maturity thing. As you get a bit older, you know, you buy a house, get a wife, settle down, and, you know, you take an interest in where you live and the people you surround yourself with. I can't think of any particular moment where it just sort of clicked, but yeah, I love where I am and I love what I do.
And Matt, over to you. Being based in Gawler, what's the advantages of that? I mean, certainly by being here in the area, but you obviously travel out around the district and but being based in Gawler, the benefits of it? Yeah,
well, I'm actually originally Victorian, so moved over about 12 years ago for mum and dad's work, and they moved to Gawler, and I think being involved in sporting clubs there, and I guess if for the old style Gawler people, I do the unknown, which is go play footy at Gawler Central and then cricket at Gawler South, which none of the old boys, if you speak to them, you're not allowed to do it. So I think just the community that you have around sport, and Gawler is a really high sporting community. So the relationships and contacts that you build being at those clubs, that goes a long way.
No, that's for sure. And with the power voice of Kingsley Songa, he keeps everybody on the ball. I was hoping that Shane wouldn't ask me to interview Kingsley, because he and I go back a long way. And what a powerful voice that is for the club, along with his wife, and to do with the netball as well. And, of course, Tom, I interviewed Tom on Sambo on Saturday here initially, and very enthusiastic with the club, and also owns two of the news agencies in our town. So Centrals have certainly been a driving force in what they've done down there at the Gawler Showgrounds, and sadly we haven't seen a lot of activity this year, and that's certainly not for the fault of the club, because the club is certainly very dynamic. You know, community really seems important to you. Are you a goal setter, and how's it been able to grow your business so quickly?
Yeah, so coronavirus has actually probably been good for our business, as funny as that sounds, is we've actually been able to take a step back and set goals and actually work out how we're going to meet them, because the first 12 months was, well, I think where we wanted to be, the goals we'd set ourselves to start and be in 12 months, we ended up there in 4 weeks. So it's grown so quickly that we've been playing catch up the whole time and sort of doing things on the fly, but we're getting to that coronavirus period where it was a little bit slower, where we're actually able to go backwards and say, okay, what are our goals for the next 12 months? And I think, you have to set goals, and I'm a pretty driven person in that sort of sense. So I'm always one that's striving to reach the goals and then get to them, and what's the next one?
Well, I think that's the thing. I think there's going to be a lot of changes, you know, after this year's epidemic, and that's certainly a very positive way to be able to work with it. And Daniel, over to you. Your very successful Facebook page, I'm from Gawler, and much feedback from that?
As far as coronavirus goes, it's been the same as Matt. You know, we've been able to let the community know what you can do, what you can't do, where you can eat, where you can eat, you know, all that kind of stuff. But as far as my other page, Gawler and Photographs, it stopped because I couldn't go out and take pictures, couldn't do the humans of Gawler, I couldn't do anything. So it's all started up as of this week. But Yeah, same with Matt. It's a bit strange, but it's been a bit positive for us.
And certainly the interesting people you've been talking about meeting in the community. I mean, we've lost a few of those in Brian Marnie and a few others that used to be quite a classic. The Bunyip and Jack and all them used to pick them up every now and then with stories. But all of this work that you're doing, you know, you're basically doing it on a voluntary type capacity. And hopefully, you know, things may turn around into a paying business for you because, you know, the work you do, it's certainly a benefit to, as people are growing up from one era to another and so forth. Have you got some sort of plans around that point?
As far as the pages go, I have started every year to create a calendar every year of just like my favourite pictures of Gawler throughout the year. I've sort of thought about doing a book, but I'm not sure how to get publishing and all that. That's out of my area of expertise. That's why I might have to hit up the business development group. But honestly, it's just a passion. I love doing it, and if I did it for business, I might not enjoy it as much. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it's interesting because one of the things now, as back on council, as a councillor, that I've been really pushing with our Mayor, Karen Ridman, that there's so many businesses in this town that are professional. And you mentioned about the point of getting a book done. Bunyip Print, Nathan Rosenberg now, is doing a lot more books, and he's found that while this virus has been on, he's been printing a lot more books that used to go out of town to be printed. And, you know, I'm sort of one that's very, very much to the point that if the businesses are in this town, whether it's framing a picture or whatever it may be, or helping people like yourself get off the ground and do things, it's here in our town. And certainly I've found that many of the businesses are supportive with the point of special deals just to get the wheels rolling.
Yeah.
And that's so very, very important because, as you know, everything's expensive to be able to do those sort of things. And where to from here, Matt?
From here, we're about to sign a contract with the Sandful, about to produce a weekly Sandful footy show, which we've already started on our channel, but we'll be going out through all of theirs as well. We're actually trying to look at some local council grants with the Central Districts Footy Club as we're starting to produce a documentary on them and this season and the weird season that it's going to be due to Corona. And we've got so much going on at the moment. They're sort of the two big projects, and we've got a couple other things in the pipeline that are coming up as well, which will be interesting.
And Matt, is there a business in Gawler that stands out with you that you can say, well, I love going there or I love shopping there?
Yeah, well, I think you can't go past the pubs, can you? I certainly do a bit of shopping there, but I got me two favourites that I go to: the Exchange and the PA, and sneak down the Kinger as well. But that's probably my major hotspots that I head to.
Yep. No, that's right. Damien at the Exchange, the work he's done there in that particular place, and when you go there, you see my motorbike down the pit there, I hope. That was when I was a young revette on the Speedway. And Tony Harnett, what can you say about Tony? He's been involved in our community for so long. So you picked on two good pubs there, but there's plenty of others in the town.
There's plenty.
To share it around. Where to from here with your business?
Well, my pages aren't businesses, so we'll just continue to hopefully grow the audience, tell everybody about what's happening in and out of Gawler, mostly in Gawler, of course. And as far as the photography goes, my Humans of Gawler project will be carrying on hopefully for a long time. So I've got loads of people all lined up, all ready to take pictures of, like Matt especially. He's on my list. I think I'll put you on the list too.
Oh, my God.
We'll get your good side. And hopefully I can keep that going every week.
Well, that's right. And I mean, certainly with Shane and the boys here that BIE, Creative Marketing and so forth, and with Matt's business too, is promoting what is in this town. And for many times, you know, I've been saying that there's a lot of businesses here that people just don't know in the community. And yes, the Bunyip can promote, which is our local paper, the Gawler paper. And just recently we had Ben, who was the owner of all those papers, at our council meeting, and he was very, very promotive about the fact that from now on, especially this year, there will be a lot more of Gawler content in that to promote and then look forward to business from then on.
Yeah.
So, Daniel and Matt, it's a pleasure having you here on this Saturday, and we look forward to successes from both of you. And thanks very much for your time and your input today.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Sambo.